Hello and welcome back to the True Crime Guys podcast. I'm Lorne.
And I'm Michael.
What's up?
Part two.
Part two. DB Cooper, you guys
fun
not
stuff.
fucking excited?
Right? You should be fucking excited. Because it's not New Year's. Thanksgiving Eve.
Thanksgiving Eve is the biggest drinking night of the year.
It
If
is.
you guys didn't know that. If you've ever been to college, you know that.
And we're celebrating accordingly.
But this is the night that you go back to where you grew up. If you moved away,
Right.
or if you're away at
Or
college,
if you can afford it.
if you can
Because I'm
afford
still
it.
here, obviously.
Yeah, I'm never moving away from where I grew up.
It's
but
cool, man. I got family here now.
real people, like in the world, they like move away. They grow up. They spread their wings. They
That's
fly
right.
away from where they started.
Yeah.
Fly away from the home nest.
Mm-hmm.
And then every Thanksgiving, they fly
They
back
swoop
home.
back down, see what's
And
going
they
on.
fuck their old fling from high school.
That's
and they
right.
drink a lot. That's what this episode is.
Didn't you say there's like a bunch of babies born from this night or something like that?
The night before
what you
Thanksgiving
claimed?
it's yeah. I mean, it should be its own holiday.
So are you
like-
saying okay? Are you saying that people are like having babies with their old high school flings? That's
Yeah,
not,
man.
Oh, really?
a lot
You
of
think
not
so?
meant to be babies were
Oh,
born
man.
on
Probably
Thanksgiving
a lot
Eve.
of abortions after that, unfortunately.
A lot of Plan B.
Yeah, a lot of Plan B. Yeah, there
Thanksgiving
you go. Plan B.
Plan B day.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. I'm thankful there's Plan B. Am I right?
There's D Day and then there's Plan B day.
Oh man, this is
But-
going off the rails.
But like 47 years ago? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
47 years ago, Thanksgiving Eve, 1971, a man jumped on a plane and called himself Dan Cooper and fucking jumped out of that thing into infamy. And we're here to break down a list of suspects that could or could not be him. Most likely
yeah,
not. but-
probably not.
but it's gonna be
We're
fun
gonna
to
make
talk
fun
about.
of why they think that they are them.
Right?
No, I don't think any of these guys are.
And if you can't tell, we've been drinking. This is a special drinking Thanksgiving Eve episode
Right.
just for you guys.
That's right.
So let's get into it.
For all we know, he's been here. You know, walked in, had a beer, and walked out.
Let DB be. There are some things that should remain a mystery. Let DB be. Can't you see? He's the Robin Hood of the 70s.
Because it's so lush.
All right, guys, let's get into it. So this is the suspect list of DB Cooper, and everybody that
Yeah.
on there, not everybody, because we don't have time. There's like, I want to say they had thousands of suspects, right? The FBI
think so?
between 71 and now. I mean, they gave up in 2016.
Let put it to you
They
this
finally
way.
said we're fucking retiring this thing because it's ridiculous. Everyone that dies says they're fucking DB Cooper on the way
Right.
out.
I was about to say, let me put it this way. Every time I've looked up DB Cooper suspects, I find a new one.
Yeah,
Every time.
and it's like 2 days ago, new suspect emerges.
Yep. I'm like, seriously.
You're like, man, I gotta fucking figure this one out.
Like,
I don't got time for this shit. Ain't nobody got time for that.
you think it's just somebody on their deathbed that just did nothing,
Yeah,
and they're
man.
like, you know what? I kind of looked like that guy.
Why would you not? When you're on
that
your way
robbed
out,
that plane.
Why would you not on your way out? You'd be like, man, I've worked at a fucking grocery store for 30 years.
Right. I was
I
bagger
really
of the
like
month.
when I look back, like I could have done better. I'm just gonna say I'm DB Cooper.
I could have been shift manager if I really applied myself. But shit, now.
And then
Oh
you
my
play,
goodness.
you really play up to it. You're like, there's something I should tell you, but I can't. And they're
can't.
like, what is it, Dad? You're like,
No, I
can't
shouldn't,
do it,
son.
man.
You
It's just-
shouldn't live with my burdens.
right? Did you hear the one where he
It's just
told,
as well I die with it.
the one that cracks me up the most, and we'll get into it, but there was a husband who, on his deathbed, told his wife, I'm Dan Cooper, and she's like, who? And he's like, God damn it, forget about it. Oh, it's so great.
She's like, he still couldn't fucking impress her on his deathbed. He's still letting her down.
Right? Oh, I love it.
Oh,
He's
God.
like, just forget it, so let me die in peace.
just fucking whatever.
I love those old married couples. They're just like, I don't even care anymore. Right?
Who was that?
Speaking of my good in here. Good here, Eleanor. Oh, man. How are we ever going to stay on track for this episode? This is going to be madness.
We're not.
You guys let us drink
We're
and
not.
record a podcast. This should be a crime.
What did they do? That we shouldn't blame them for this monstrosity.
I know. All right, so let's get into it.
All
Let's start. So between 1971 and 2016, the FBI processed over 1,000 serious quote-unquote suspects, which included assorted publicly publicity seekers and deathbed confessors, but nothing more than circumstantial evidence could be found to implicate any of them. So it's all circumstantial. It's like he said, she said, this seems to fit, that type of stuff.
Right.
That's why it's...
This guy's the right age. He has a clip-on tie. He could have been D.B.
He
Cooper.
disappeared on Thanksgiving Eve
Right.
for 24 hours and came back dirty.
Right.
That one,
Smelling like some other woman with lipstick on his neck.
yeah.
Like that's the classic guy that comes back missing, you know?
Right. So the first one, though, the first copycat was only 5 months after the original one.
Oh, McCoy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anytime you do something successful, you're going to have someone that tries to replicate that. And Richard McCoy Jr. would be the man. He was born December 7th, 1942 in Kingston, North Carolina, Michael.
Oh, shit.
He grew up in nearby Cove City. He moved to Provo, Utah, and enrolled in Brigham Young University.
Oh, good for
He
him.
served in Vietnam as a demolition expert and pilot. And on April 7th, 1972, McCoy boarded the United Airlines Flight 855 under the alias James Johnson. During a stopover in Denver, Colorado, the aircraft was a Boeing 727, same plane,
Right.
with aft stairs, via which McCoy escaped in mid-flight by parachute after giving the crew similar instructions as Cooper had. McCoy had obtained $500,000 cash in a ransom, so he more than doubled what DB did.
I think he studied the DB case a lot.
Oh,
I think
for
he
sure.
studied everything that came
If he
out,
wasn't DB
right?
himself.
That's what I was gonna say.
kind-
It's one or the other because he did like some little shit exactly the same. Like he typed up his ransom note on a plane manifest. I don't know what they call them, but it's the same type of like paper that the plane uses to see passengers, the pilot uses or whatever.
Right.
He typed it up on that exactly the same, and then one of the mistakes that DB said, or not DB said, but the pilots were able to identify him through like a keyhole in the door. They were able to look, even though they weren't communicating with him, they were able to look through this slot in the door or something and see him. And McCoy put tape over that slot.
Really?
And then he also...
So you'd almost feel like he was correcting some of the mistakes
Yes.
that he, if he had done it, had made in the first one.
Exactly. Like, yeah, and another one is like DB had the stewardess sit beside him, the flight attendant sit beside him, and McCoy made her sit in front of him and didn't let her look at him the whole time.
Oh, so like face forward.
Yeah. But he got caught, though.
Yeah.
McCoy got caught.
But he did get away for a couple days. So like most
yeah,
of the
a
other
couple days or a
copycats,
lifetime.
most of the other copycats, not I say most, all of the other copycats didn't actually even get away at all. Period.
Right.
This dude jumped out of the plane and he was out there for 2 full days. After he got that $500,000 cash, he carried a novelty hand grenade and an empty pistol. So he went about it a little different. He didn't have the
Right.
bomb in the briefcase, but he had a fake hand grenade and an empty pistol, which he used to keep people captive. Police began investigating McCoy following a tip from a motorist. The driver had picked up McCoy hitchhiking from a fast food restaurant where McCoy was wearing a jumpsuit and carrying a duffel bag. McCoy had also described to an acquaintance how easy it would be to carry out such a hijacking. So, yeah, don't tell your friends you're going to do this stuff, or even,
Yeah.
so easy to do that. Next thing, the next day,
Tell
he
you, I
sees
can totally
on
do it,
TV,
dude. I can totally do it.
guy that looks like you and did
Right.
exactly what you're talking about. Following fingerprint and handwriting matches, McCoy was arrested 2 days after the hijacking. He was on National Guard duty flying one of the helicopters involved in the search for the hijacker. In his house, FBI agents found a jumpsuit and duffel bag filled with cash totaling $499,970. So he spent $30 in that 2 days.
$30 out of the money.
Right.
Is that how they found him though? Because of the bills?
They found him because of like his friend. I think because
Just because of that guy.
because of that, and then they matched the handwriting and the fingerprints once they had an idea of who it was.
Wow.
McCoy claimed his innocence but was convicted of the hijacking and received a 45-year sentence. Once incarcerated at the federal penitentiary at Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, McCoy used his access to the prisoner's dental office to fashion a fake handgun out of dental paste.
How?
He and a crew of convicts escaped on August 10th, 1974
All right.
by commanding a garbage truck and crashing it through the prison's main gate.
Nope.
The most gangster escape of all time. He fucking made a gun out of toothpaste and
How?
escaped in a dump truck.
How hard is that toothpaste? How do you make a gun out of toothpaste?
I know, right? This cap's
Seriously.
going to come off hot, bro. This cap's going to fucking burn right
Wait
through
a second, though. Like sometimes well, you may not know yet because your son's not brushing his teeth yet.
Yeah,
but
he is.
Somehow, no, I know. I mean, like you guys are brushing them, but he's not like hanging over the sink.
Right.
Like my animals are. Like they'll like put all the stuff on the toothbrush. They won't even like soak it again. You know what I mean? You should wet it again after you put toothpaste on. No,
Re-wet.
they just freaking lift it up. Thump. It'll fall in the sink. They'll just brush. Be like, okay, dodged a bullet there. Don't have to get that minty shit in my mouth. And then it will harden on the sink. And that shit's hard to get off. And you could probably fashion a gun out of that. Like some Crest.
Dried toothpaste.
Maybe, yeah. He would have to have dried it. He might just collect in a huge clump and then just let it dry.
Except I feel
and
like
then
that
carved
gun
it.
would look like a dried toothpaste gun. You know what I'm saying? Like it would just look like white crusty.
From
shit.
how far away? From how far away? How far away do you have to be? Is it a 50-foot gun? I think I can work with a 50-foot gun. You know what I'm saying? Be like,
just flash it.
just
flash
flash
it.
it. Just get out. Get out.
Wow.
What do you think?
No, I'm not buying
No?
any of that.
You're not buying any of that?
But, you know, the story says McCoy used his access to the prison's dental office to fashion a fake handgun out of dental paste.
Dude, if he had that much dental paste, he got into the dental office, probably got a lot of tubes of Crest in there.
It
can happen.
You got to find a way. So once you crust like the toothpaste into
Uh-huh.
a hard gun-shaped thing, then you got to find a way to paint it dark, right? Because you can't have like a white, crusty fucking gun.
No, it can dry. And then the thicker the toothpaste is, if it's thick enough to make a gun, you won't be able to see through it by then, I don't think. Especially if it's like that blue jelly toothpaste, which is probably what they're giving them, that cheap blue shit in the prisons. You know what I'm saying? It's like what they make kids' toothpaste out of because they know they don't care about anything but other than what it tastes like.
I guess. I mean, we'll never know how he did it. He made a goddamn gun out of toothpaste. He broke out of prison, stole a
I'm
fucking
impressed.
garbage truck, and crashed it through the prison's main gate. I feel like that's a very DB move, man. Like,
It's definitely a
if DB
move.
Cooper went to prison, he'd break out with a fucking toothpaste gun and steal a garbage truck and get away. That's
Wow. Yeah, I think so.
3 months later, the FBI located McCoy in Virginia Beach. News reports stated that on November 9th, 1974, McCoy walked into his home and was met by FBI agents. He fired at them, and an agent fired back with a shotgun, killing him.
That's
and
it.
when that FBI agent killed him, he said that D.B. Cooper died with McCoy that day, that they were one and the same.
He brought a toothpaste gun to a gunfight's all that happened.
He's still rocking the toothpaste gun even at his house.
Yeah.
It worked once, it'll work again.
And they were like, oh, shit, he just had a bar of toothpaste. Oh, we're just telling me he had a gun.
Crazy, though. I think that's my favorite suspect already. Right off the bat, we started out hot. The guy that got away with a copycat version.
That's the strongest
Used a
suspect.
fake grenade
Yeah.
in a plane hijacking and then made a gun out of toothpaste
Yep.
and actually got away from prison by stealing a garbage truck. Pretty fucking gangster.
Yeah, he's the strongest.
That could have been DB. And you know what? The picture of him looks just as much like every other picture that they compare to the composites.
I think
It's
he
such.
looks.
We talked about in the last episode. It's such a plain looking face. It's like just looks like a dude's face with kind of a skinny nose. But then the
Yeah.
other composites, like the first one, is like
but
a
he also
super
has a
skinny nose.
narrow jaw too.
Narrow jaw. But like the first picture is a super skinny nose, and then the nose kind of widens after that. Like you look at the composite progression, like they change.
Yeah.
And it's like the nose kind of became normal because it was a super skinny nose with that first one.
Oh yeah. It was like, Michael Jackson.
Like
nose.
a cokehead nose. Like
No, it was like a Michael Jackson.
Michael
like,
Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah, like final Michael Jackson nose.
Right,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like after all of them.
Right.
That's what it was like.
So
Rest in peace.
you got some more copycat hijackers?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. Like Garrett Brock Trapnell. He hijacked a TWA airliner en route from LA to New York in January. He demanded $306,800 in cash, the release of Angela Davis, and an audience with President Richard Nixon. After the aircraft landed at John F. Kennedy International Airport, he was shot and wounded by FBI agents, and then he was arrested.
So he didn't jump off the plane.
Why would this guy even be a suspect to a lot of people? Like he demanded the release of a certain person specifically. Does DB Cooper have any relation to Angela Davis? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that they were saying he's a suspect. He was just a copycat. We're going through more. Like I would say the one person that was actually a suspect that did a copycat was Richard McCoy because of the similarities.
Oh, okay.
People just started kind of like copying his idea to hijack planes and demand all these crazy requests and
Okay, good point. I guess he is more in the copycat category.
yeah.
All right.
And
All right.
he got shot by the FBI as soon as he got off the plane.
Yeah.
Great.
He just got arrested. He didn't even get to die.
Right.
He got arrested. But I don't know. Maybe he's out now. Who knows? Maybe he finally got to meet Nixon. But there's another guy, Richard Charles LaPointe. He was an Army veteran and a quote-unquote New England beach bum. But he boarded Hughes Air West Flight 800 at McCarran Airport in Las Vegas on January 20th in 1972, brandishing what he claimed was a bomb while the DC-9 was on the taxiway. He demanded $50,000, 2 parachutes, and a helmet.
Helmets. Why didn't DB think of that?
Right.
It might have been why he died if he didn't have a fucking helmet.
Damn it, DB.
I could just picture the FBI brings him like a little girl's fucking bicycle
Like a
helmet. And
bicycle.
they're like, you didn't specify what kind,
Right,
sir.
they didn't even Velcro the pads on the inside.
It's all
Just
fucking
giving
pink
him
and
fucking
sparkly.
styrofoam. Just banging around on top of his head. That's why he's flopping down.
Doesn't even fit.
Right. But anyways, after releasing the passengers and 2 flight attendants, he ordered the plane on an eastward trajectory towards Denver. Then he bailed out over the treeless plains of Colorado. Authorities, tracking the locator-equipped parachute and his footprints in the snow and mud, apprehended him a few hours later.
Not very well thought out. But he did make it out of the plane and he landed, huh?
Yeah, he made it.
But he didn't have like an escape plan once he hit the ground.
Well, they had a locator
Yeah.
in the parachute, so
Oh, they put a fucking G.
yeah, they put GPS in the parachute.
And that was how much for that? How far was that after DB? It wasn't long, right? I guess
That was in 72, January of 72. That
So,
was 2 months later.
what happened was you got to be the first one, man. You got to be like, you got to be one of the first people to do something like this because they learned. The FBI, like
They
DB
adapt.
Cooper, was a learning experiment.
Yep.
Experience for the FBI and law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
He got away with some shit. And then they were like, wow, we got to change our procedures here. Kind of like casinos. You know, they learn over time when people steal from them. And after a little while, they got it down to a science, and you're not going to be card counting. You're going to be getting away with shit.
Exactly.
And after DB, they're like, okay, well, there's some things we got to work on here because we didn't really know how to handle this.
They adapted
They didn't
quick,
know what
though.
to do with DB.
I mean, this is 2 months later,
Right.
and they're like,
well, this is on high alert. This is like right after 9/11. You didn't want to try and hijack a plane right after 9/11. You know, they're
right.
fucking,
Oh, you're saying this is equivalent of right after 9/11.
right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like this is on lockdown. Like 2 months later, they're ready for hijackers now.
right. Damn. Yeah, that's a good point. And he only asked for $50,000 too, and he didn't get away.
Right.
Like, all right. Anyways, here's another guy, Frederick Hahnemann. He used a handgun to hijack an Eastern Airlines 727 in Allentown, Pennsylvania, in May. He demanded $303,000.
That's pretty specific.
Right? Was he trying to pay off his house or some shit? He's like, that's exactly what I owe on the note.
Trying to be mortgage free
I'll be
here.
a free man. I can finally get that Tesla. He said, yeah, so he demanded $303,000 and eventually parachuted into Honduras, which was where he was born. And a month later, the FBI in pursuit and a $25,000 bounty was put on his head. He surrendered at the American embassy.
Now, this was the 70s, right? Where were we at in relations with Cuba at this point? Like, not on great
Bro,
terms, right?
Asking the wrong
I
dude.
imagine if you took a plane from Florida, right? And you were like, fly me over Cuba, do a round trip, fucking like circle around and drop. I'm going to fucking jump out in Cuba.
Yeah.
I feel like they'd protect you. You got that American cash, buy you a classic car in Cuba and drive around a little bit.
You think who would protect you?
Cuba.
You think Cuba would
They
protect
might, just
you?
to spite America at the time, the 70s.
Yeah. Is she saying you might be treated good because
Yeah.
there's not many Americans
That's what I'm saying,
there?
like spread the cash around a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Be a hero.
Okay, I think that's enough with the notable copycats.
Copycats.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I think we should get into suspects.
Let's do it.
These copycats are boring anyways. They all got caught.
Right. So let's talk about Kenneth Christensen. In 2003, a Minnesota resident named Lyle Christensen watched a television documentary about the Cooper hijacking and became convinced that his late brother Kenneth was Cooper. There's a lot of that, family members thinking that,
I
you know, someone in their family
But it's
was
funny that they're the only family member that thinks that, but go ahead.
Right. Everyone else in their family is rolling
Right.
their eyes every fucking Thanksgiving.
Right.
After repeated futile attempts to convince first the FBI and then the author and film director Nora Ephron, he contacted a private investigator in New York City. In 2010, the detective Skip Porteous published a book postulating that Christensen was the hijacker. The following year, an episode on the History Channel series Decoded also summarized the circumstantial evidence linking Christensen to the Cooper case. Christensen enlisted in the Army in 1944 and was trained as a paratrooper. The war had ended by the time he was deployed in 1945, but he made occasional training jumps while stationed in Japan with occupational forces in the late 1940s. After leaving the Army, he joined the Northwest Orient Airline in 1954 as a mechanic in the South Pacific and subsequently became a flight attendant and then a purser based in Seattle. Christensen was 45 years old at the time of the hijacking, which fits. That fits. Also, the height and weight, he was a little bit shorter at 5'8" and thinner at 150 and lighter complected than the eyewitness description. So it was a little bit off as far as the physical description, but the age kind of matched. The people said he was kind of looked like he was 30s, 40s.
Right.
Christensen smoked, as did the hijacker, and loved bourbon. Like most people back then.
Yeah.
Smoked and drank whiskey.
Also, like, you're in a
The
plane
70s.
and you're hijacking it. Why not get the best beverage they have?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
It's an open bar because you hijacked it.
Right. You kind of own the bitch.
I
at
feel
this
like,
one
dude, the
time.
70s were like the height of just like people that were like 20 looked 30, people that were 30 looked 50. It's like
I
You
agree.
age 10 years with each year like a dog year. It looks
agree.
like dog years.
They were living
It's just
hard in the
fucking-
70s.
You're just like, fuck it. I just want to die. I just smoking
Get a
cigarettes,
cigarette in
drinking
each
whiskey every day.
hand.
Yeah.
fucking up
Double
one of those
fisted.
beer helmets with the straws. Fucking
Filled with whiskey.
yeah.
Christensen was also left-handed. Now, we talked about the tie clip,
Yeah.
which was on the left side, which kind of said that, it pointed to the fact that the hijacker was left-handed. So
Yeah.
Florence, the flight attendant, told a reporter that photos of Christensen fit her memory of the hijacker's appearance more closely than that of any other aspect that she had been shown. So that is kind of a big thing. It's like,
Yeah, but that's a weird way to
Eyewitness-
phrase that. It fitted the
More so than the others.
closely, like
Yeah.
more. Did somebody say like, okay, we get it. It's not him, but is it the closest? Jesus,
give us something.
give us something. Is it the closest?
Yeah.
Been at this all night.
One of the biggest things pointing to Christensen was the fact that he reportedly had purchased a house with cash a few months after the hijacking. While dying of cancer in 1994, he told Lyle, "There's something you should know, but I cannot tell you."
That could be anything, dude. Okay.
I'm gay.
And, right.
Meanwhile, I was like, he's D.B. Cooper for sure.
I slept with your brother-in-law.
You're not my son.
Oh,
You can think of a million other things.
Right.
You could just be stupid. Like,
That-
I have anal warts. Like, who knows?
that's could be anything.
Yeah.
That's the common theme, though, among all these suspects, is they all bought something that just was inexplicable to all their family members. Like, how did they get the money?
Right. And so, like, the people were saying that Christensen had bought this house cash. And then when they really looked into it, like, he had a mortgage and he ended up paying it off.
Right.
But yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
He paid
It's-
monthly on the thing. Like, it wasn't cash.
It's like people just want to find stuff.
That-
It's like they're thinking back, going, "Well, man, he could be. He did get that new Camaro right about then."
Right.
You know, and then it's just things
You
start.
know, maybe he's got
adding
a
up.
podcast on the side. He makes a little extra money. Who
Right.
knows?
Right. Exactly.
But God forbid a guy treats
Maybe
himself
he
a little
spoils
bit.
himself a little bit every now
Yeah.
and then.
So, I mean, I don't know. And if he had bought a house with the Cooper cash, it would
Yeah.
the code, serial numbers would have been fucking tagged for sure.
Definitely.
And then we would know. So,
Right.
all in all, we just don't. None of these people are really going to fit. But this is
Right.
fun, just going through
It's
it.
fun to debunk them quickly.
Yeah. After Christensen's death, family members discovered gold coins and a valuable stamp collection, along with over 200,000 in bank accounts. They also found a folder in Northwest. So it says over 200,000. What if it was like 300,000, but they like to say 200 because it just matches the
because it
amount?
matches. Yeah.
Over 200,000.
Right. It's like the dude was a millionaire. We know.
Right. Come to our lot. Cars starting at 13,000. It's like, okay, that you have one.
You have one.
You have one that's 13,999,000.
Right.
They also found a folder of Northwest Orient news clippings, which began about the time he was hired in the 1950s and stopped just prior to the date of the hijacking, despite the fact that the hijacking was by far the most momentumous
Oh yeah.
news event in airlines history.
I remember hearing about this guy. Maybe he just got tired of that shit, man. That's a stupid hobby.
Yeah.
Just collecting all kinds of stuff like that. You get tired of it after a while, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. That just seems like a stupid reason, though.
Yeah.
I think if I mean, most criminals want that kind of thing. And especially if he had already, let's say he built up a history, like he is the guy that keeps those clippings, you know, like he keeps the clipping of every headline. Everybody knows that. So when the big one comes up, it wouldn't be no big deal to keep it.
Yeah, so if he was the guy that clips all these,
Right.
he would definitely keep that one.
Exactly.
And he would have reason to keep it. He'd be like, I've been doing this for years.
Yeah, I'm
So
always.
that's why I have the DB Cooper
I'm
headlines.
the guy that keeps the headlines.
Right. Or maybe he just lost interest, like right as it's just a coincidence. He
Most likely
you
that's
know
what
I'm
happened.
tired of doing this. This is a stupid hobby.
If I'm
right
put-
as the fucking DB Cooper.
If I'm a betting man, which I am sometimes, I live in Vegas, and so I would say that he just lost interest.
Lost interest. Just
Lost
coincidentally, right as DB Cooper.
Yeah.
What is the biggest headline in local history happened?
Yeah. You know why? Because probably everybody was clipping that out. So he didn't seem so special anymore. He's like,
Oh,
why do I want to clip this out? Everybody has this one.
That's
like
dude,
this one's not even worth
Everybody's
anything.
stealing my hobby now.
Exactly.
And now it's not cool
Oh,
anymore.
now you
Maybe
guys
he was
wanna
the
be
original
part-
hipster. He was
Now
like,
you-
now that everybody's doing it, I don't want anything to do with this.
Right? Exactly. Now you guys want to be part of headline clipping. And you had nothing to do with me when I was clipping out the robbery at the corner store.
Dude, you fucking figured out that fucking mystery.
Yep.
So,
Next.
okay, let's go ahead and rule out Christensen.
Next.
Okay, Jack Colfett. Colfett was a con man, ex-convict, and purported government informant who claimed to have been the chauffeur and confidant to Abraham Lincoln's last undisputed descendant, great-grandson Robert Todd Lincoln Beckwith.
Yeah.
Fucking gold fucking bloodlines here.
Yeah, but why on earth would you not put Lincoln as your last name?
At
His
least
name
put the
is-
hyphen in there, Jack Colfett Lincoln.
No, listen. It's Robert Todd. This is the great grandson
Oh,
or whatever
you're
they
right,
knew.
right.
Robert Todd Lincoln Beckwith. What the fuck did Beckwith do to be greater than Lincoln?
I know, right? The
I
Lincoln,
can't think of one famous
Beckwith.
Beckwith.
Bend it like Beckwith.
Beckwith. I feel like I'm saying it wrong.
Right.
I've never even heard that last name before.
At least Beckham,
I apologize if your last name is Beckwith.
Beckham, you got Odell Beckham, you got
Right.
Bend it like Beckham, whatever his first name is, the soccer player.
David.
David Beckham.
Right.
But Beckwith, nobody's
Beckwith.
ever done
Never
anything.
heard of it before. Put Lincoln as the last name. Robert Todd. Jesus Christ.
Robert Todd Beckwith Lincoln.
That's better.
A lot more
Why don't
prestigious.
you just call Robert Todd Lincoln? Like,
He did make sure he shoehorned Lincoln in there.
yeah. Oh, of course. Wouldn't you?
Well, he was Abraham Lincoln's last undisputed descendant.
If I found out that, I would just replace my middle name with Lincoln. Well, I guess that's what this guy did. Never mind.
I feel like if your gravestone says I was Lincoln's great grandson, it's just like
Yeah.
you couldn't figure something out for yourself. Like, come on, man. Couldn't-
oh, I see what you're saying. You're like, you're still riding his coattails.
yeah, for
There's-
real. Like two generations later, 3 generations, whatever it is.
It's way longer than that if you're like now
Great
doing that shit.
grandson.
Yeah.
My great grandfather did something great.
Like, listen, those coattails are
I may be a loser.
deteriorated and have been dragged through the mud. You cannot ride those anymore.
Right.
Get your own coattails, bro.
Yeah. In 1972, he began claiming he was Cooper and attempted through an intermediary, a former cellmate, James Brown, to sell his story to a Hollywood production company. He said that he landed near Mount Hood, about 50 miles southeast of Ariel, injuring himself and losing the ransom money in the process, which sounds like he read the news stories.
Yeah, it
and
does.
he's trying to make his shit sound real, right? Photos of Colfett bear a resemblance to the composite drawings, although he was in his mid-50s in 1971, so a little older than what people said.
Right.
He was reportedly in Portland on the day of the hijacking and sustained leg injuries around that time, which were consistent with a skydiving mishap.
Yeah.
So he could have just fucking hit himself with a hammer or something. Like, looks like
Exactly.
you hit yourself on a rock skydiving.
He could have found out all this information, and also his cellmate was named James Brown. And he also he wanted to sell his story.
Get up off of that plane!
Right.
Get up off of that plane!
And right off the bat, he's trying to sell a story. Like
Right.
right off the bat, he's like, "I want to sell this story to a Hollywood production company."
Yeah.
Of
Of
course
course,
you do.
just like all the people that my
Of
dad was.
course you do.
My dad was DB. Let me buy my book and let me
Yeah.
tell you about this fucking story that has no meat on the bone. You'll get more out of the fucking title than the actual book itself.
Right? He just left out one word, not.
Let me tell you
Father
about
was
this
not
crazy
DB
story.
Cooper.
My dad was DB Cooper. The end. Thanks for buying my book.
I know he was because he said he was, and he wouldn't lie to me.
He was my daddy after all.
He was. One thing my daddy had, it was his word.
He created me with his sperm. I don't think a guy like that would lie.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
Colfit's account was reviewed by the FBI, which concluded that it differed in significant details from the information that had not been made public and therefore was a fabrication.
Oh.
Which is this whole episode filled with fabrications.
This is all fabricated bullshit
Like a
we're
fucking
talking about right
fabrication shop that makes fucking racing trucks here. And lies. And we drink alcohol because it's Thanksgiving Eve.
here. Thanksgiving Eve.
Cheers, people. You're probably at work on Monday right now listening to this and be like, what's wrong with these fucking people?
Yeah, really.
Just imagine what it was like
You got-
on Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah.
You were probably drunk too.
Yeah, think about it. Think back and just getting that mindset.
You can imagine getting in the time machine next to Doc Brown. Being,
You know what? Better
I
yet,
remember being drunk. That's what it was like.
how much sick time you got? Listen, you can skip out a little early today. Pause this.
Get fucking
Go get a
hammered.
beer. Meet us back at the house or at the bar, whatever, and just turn it back on. And then this will be a whole lot better, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds
Okay.
right.
All right. Fair enough.
Who would you say is your favorite suspect out of this? Because I got mine.
Dude, I gotta go McCoy.
McCoy?
Yeah, I watched a little 15-minute documentary on this earlier today, and it kind of even concreted a little bit more. That's where I learned those little facts.
He was the original copycat, right?
He was the original copycat. It only happened 5 months after.
He was the only one to get away with it again. The only one to get away with the jump and actually make it away. Yeah, he got caught 2 days later, but still, got away with $500,000
Right.
in 70s.
Right.
72.
And he corrected some mistakes that DB made.
Yeah, which is
It's
what
pretty
you would do
interesting.
if you were DB
How
Cooper.
would you know that he made those mistakes?
Uh-huh.
I mean, because some of the stuff wasn't released right away, at least not within 6 months.
That kind
the
of
crime.
detail, right?
Right, like
stuff
the,
that FBI would keep close to the vest because they want to weed out the people that we're talking about, the
Right.
fucking fake suspects.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and he does kind of
And
look like him. He's
5
got a
months-
slender face. His nose is a little wider, but I mean, damn, that everyone's nose
No, we
is
talked about the
wider
composites. The
than
nose
that
got
composite.
wider anyway. As the composites progressed, the nose got wider. And 5 months is a good amount of time. So, like, if this was DB, you know, that's say he had a rough jump and he survives or whatever, and he gets away with the money. Like 5 months is an adequate amount of time to recover, come up with a new plan, try and fix what you did wrong the last time.
It is.
And jump again.
It's
5 months
plenty
is
of time.
perfect. You
It's
get
plenty
through the
of time.
holidays. You know, you enjoy that $200,000.
I wonder what he did the second time. I wonder if maybe he asked for unmarked bills or something like that. If it was him, because maybe he realized that
Yeah, the
he
$500,000
couldn't spend
didn't-
those. He couldn't spend that money, or maybe he let that 5,000 just kind of slip out to see if somebody found it,
That
and
was
then they
found at
were
Tina
able
Bar?
to tie it to him.
the Tina Bar money or something.
Yeah, and then they were like, and then he was maybe sitting watching the news, going, "Okay, well, shit, I can't spend that here."
Well, that backfired because they didn't find that till 1980. So that was 9 years later.
Yeah. Well, he could have held on to it.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. I mean, if I was risking going to prison for the rest of my life or for 20-something years or whatever, I would probably hold on to it too.
Right.
Maybe use it in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like buying shit off Craigslist.
Craigslist in 71. What does that look like? 72.
Yeah, like classifieds in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I remember my dad used to do that shit before Craigslist. He'd be looking at the newspaper and we would see shit and then go call somebody and go meet them.
For sure.
People been doing that shit
The
forever.
classifieds.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like 10. That was it. There was like 10 ads. And if there wasn't something you wanted, you were fucked until next week.
Oh, dude, I used to love to look in there. I'd be looking for four-wheelers and shit, you know.
Right.
I would
God
look
damn
at
it, only a 3-wheeler this week. Fuck.
5 listings of lawn furniture? Are you serious?
Yeah, I totally remember that.
I don't give a shit about these wind chimes.
Bitch, I don't want your fucking potted plants.
Right? Give a shit about your livestock. I want a 4-wheeler.
My favorite suspect was Barbara Dayton. In 1978, Barb Dayton confessed to several of her friends, including Ron and Pat Foreman of South Hill, Washington, that she was D.B. Cooper. Barb also told the Foremans that she had formerly been Bobby Dayton, and in 1969, she had the first gender reassignment surgery in Washington State. So,
So 69, so that's right. That's 2 years
2 years
before.
prior. After Barb died of pulmonary disease in 2002, the Foremans researched their friends' claims and published them in their book, The Legend of D.B. Cooper, Death by Natural Causes. So they met her at like an airstrip where they would fly their little, prop planes. And
Right.
it was like the hobby of theirs. This older couple Ron and Pat Foreman, and they see this woman who's standing by herself by this plane, and they go over and introduce themselves, then end up becoming good friends with her, and she appeared to not have many friends, and they would invite her over on the holidays and stuff, and eventually they convinced her to come over, and they eventually like got to know her, and at a certain point they were just like joking about DB Cooper, and she was very sensitive about it, and they're like, what's going on? And she's she's like, just don't talk about it around me. And eventually they like joke like, maybe you're DB Cooper. She's like, definitely don't talk about that around
Definitely don't talk about it now.
yeah. And after a while, she became comfortable enough that she was like, yeah, DB Cooper is me, you know. And
So she did admit
that's
it.
after they had the moment where they, you know, she was like, there's something about me that you need to know, and you guys won't want to be friends with me after you find out. And they found out that you used to be a man, and they were like, who cares, you know, type of
Yeah.
thing. It was like, whatever. And then she was like, okay, well, maybe I can confide in them the fact that I'm fucking DB Cooper as well.
I'm also a hijacker. I'm also a skyjacker while we're at it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
And this Barb Dayton was a super interesting
what?
person. Like, she had all these crazy stories. You know, she was like a guerrilla fighter and all this shit.
Seriously?
Crazy past. Yeah, like the world's most interesting man / woman.
wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. And you know what? The pictures, because they have pictures of Bobby Dayton and Barb Dayton after the gender reassignment surgery.
Right.
Bobby Dayton, not too far off from the sketches as well. So,
Before, she didn't change her face in the surgery, right?
no.
Okay, I didn't think so. But you know what I was thinking? Having the gender reassignment surgery before the hijacking would be extremely beneficial, because she gets to live 2 years as Barbara. So everyone
shit.
that's close to her in her life knows her only as Barbara.
Yeah.
And then she
Morphs back into
a
man,
Robert
just temporarily for a day.
1 day.
Yeah.
And then she's back to Barbara
And
again.
she had lived, so she had the gender reassignment surgery well into, you know,
Exactly. She's 2
lived many years
in.
as a man, so she knows how to immediately convert back to being a man.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep. That's right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
and-
because anybody that's close to her within the last 2 years, they only know her as Barbara.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And so, like, Ron and Pat Foreman described, we heard an interview with them on the Cooper Vortex
Mm-hmm.
podcast. They did an interview with the host of that show, and they were talking about how, like, she could have, there was moments where they were, like, at the airstrip where they would hang out, and, you know, the FBI and such would come, like, they would figure that DB Cooper would be the type of person to hang out and be involved in aviation as a
Right.
hobby and fly his own private plane or whatever.
Yeah.
And they would walk right past this woman, this older woman who's in her 50s or whatever, hanging out at the airstrip. You know, they're not looking for a woman for the DB
Exactly.
Cooper, so they go interview everyone else, all the men at the strip, and walk right past her. And she must have been
Dude.
sitting there just smirking like,
You know what? For the evidence that was left, and for all the people to have seen DB Cooper,
uh-huh.
it does make the most sense now. I
Right?
think you've converted me. I think you've converted me
The
to
sketch comparison,
a Barbara
it's
fanatic.
not crazy to
it's-
think at all. Fits as
Oh,
much
man.
a long head with kind of a receding hairline
Right.
as far as Bobby Dayton to DB Cooper.
You're right,
Not
man.
too crazy.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Especially if he was looking up a little bit, because the only picture of Robert Dayton that we have is he's kind of down, you know, he's kind of got that glare,
Uh-huh.
and then of course the drawing is face up.
Right.
But I think if he raised his face and he's looking straight at you, look at the lips, the mouth. Look how similar they are.
Yep. The lip, yeah, it's like
They're
a very small mouth.
Very similar.
Very small mouth.
Narrow jaw. He's got very narrow jaw, and like you said, the hairline looks the same.
Yes.
Well, we solved it. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Barb
We're gonna-
Dayton is DB Cooper. It's the funnest suspect too. It's like, I love that idea.
That is fun. There's a lot of moving parts there, right? That's crazy.
Everybody's looking for this man that's DB Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, he's living as a 50-year-old woman.
She's right
just-
there in front of him the whole time.
Yeah, and Barb was always viewed herself as a woman as well. So it wasn't like one of those things where it was a scheme. It was just
Right. She actually wrote a letter to her children and stuff.
Yeah.
You can find it online, but it's very difficult to read. It's not a very good copy. None of the ones that I could find of
Right.
the original copy,
Yeah.
but you can make it out. It's basically her saying that she's always felt this way, and
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't want to hide this from her children anymore and stuff. It's pretty interesting.
All right, so let's get into some more suspects here. William Gossett. Did we talk about William Gossett yet?
No, we have not.
Gossett was a veteran who saw action in Korea and Vietnam. His military experience included advanced jump training and wilderness survival. After retiring from military service in 1973, he worked as an ROTC instructor, taught military law at Weber State University in Ogden, Utah, and hosted a radio talk show in Salt Lake City, which featured discussions about the paranormal. He died in 2003.
I'm sure that wasn't popular. Not in Salt Lake City.
In 2000, yeah, way back. Yeah.
In 2000, even in 2003. I mean,
Well, that's when he died, so it was prior to that.
oh,
In Salt Lake
Oh,
City,
yeah.
the paranormal. Yeah, we have like 6 listeners.
right.
Gossett was widely known to be obsessed with the Cooper hijacking. He had a massive collection of Cooper-related news articles and told one of his wives that he knew enough about the case to write an epitaph for D.B. Cooper. Late in his life, he reportedly told his three of his sons, a retired Utah judge, and a friend in Salt Lake City public defender's office that he had committed the hijacking. Photos of Gossett taken circa 1971 bear a close resemblance to the most widely circulated Cooper composite drawing. It's like,
What's
I
his
feel like
name?
this dude is
I'm
too
looking it up right quick. Hold on.
William Gossett. I feel like
William
he's too
Gossett.
obsessed with the case to be DB Cooper. Like,
That's what that.
and all he had to do was
Yep.
convince some like highly religious Utah, Salt Lake City brothers of his that he was DB Cooper. And they're like, of course they're gonna believe it.
Dude, nah.
Not him. You're looking at the
I mean,
pictures.
I don't know. It's pretty good. It's pretty close. Check it out. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. The later sketches, that's pretty spot on. It's as close as we've seen.
You think it's closer?
The nose
than,
doesn't fit.
You think it's
I'll say
closer than
that.
Robert?
The nose doesn't fit. The eyebrows don't fit.
Closer than Robert Dayton, though.
No.
When Barber was Robert Dayton.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Damn, it is similar when you look at them back to back, though.
Yeah. According to Galen Cook, a lawyer who has collected information related to Gossett for years, Gossett once showed his sons a key to a Vancouver, British Columbia safety deposit box, which he claimed contained the long missing ransom money. Okay, so he had this key, but what happened? Did anybody not find the money or what?
Yeah, what are we doing here, people?
Gossett's eldest son, Greg, said that his father, a compulsive gambler who was always strapped for cash, showed him wads of cash just before Christmas 1971. Weeks after the Cooper hijacking, he speculated that Gossett gambled the money away in Las Vegas, so he gave it back to us.
Word.
Gotta love it. Except, remember they said that's one of the FBI put out the serial numbers to casinos. That was one of the things they
Yeah,
gave it out to. So
right.
if he spent all that money in Vegas, the
They
serial
would've
numbers
found it.
would have been tracked.
Goodbye, Gossett.
In 1988, Gossett changed his name to Wolfgang and became a Roman Catholic priest, which Cook and others interpreted as an effort to disguise his identity.
Perfect.
I'm Wolfgang, the Roman Catholic priest.
Right.
Please definitely not DB Cooper.
Please don't confuse me with DB. We're not. We're not. No one's confusing you with. You can literally still be yourself and be a priest. It's fine. We don't.
Wow. The FBI has no direct evidence implicating Gossett and cannot even reliably place him in the Pacific Northwest at the time of the hijacking. So this is all kind of
Yeah.
a mute point talking about him. But it's kind of funny to just see some of these pathetic attempts to say that they're these people.
Yeah, and it's also fun to look at all of the evidence, or quote unquote evidence, that's out there on every single one of these people.
Circumstantial at best.
Every single one, though, has a cult following out there. That is just like campaigning for that person.
Once again, let DB be. That's where we're standing.
That's
on this.
right. Let DB be.
You get the the T-shirt.
I'm working on it. It's got to be perfect.
Okay. I agree. All right. John List is our next suspect. He was an accountant, World War II and Korean War veteran who murdered his wife, 3 teenage children, and an 85-year-old mother in Westfield, New Jersey, 15
Jesus.
days before the Cooper hijacking.
Okay, if this guy does the hijacking, he just kills everybody. Right?
Yeah, right. He
What-
wouldn't be a
what
nice,
the fuck?
a nice fellow,
Yeah, DB Cooper is way too nice for this guy.
right? He came to the attention of the Cooper task force due to the timing of his disappearance, multiple matches to the hijacker's description, and the reasoning that a fugitive accused of mass murder has nothing to lose. After his capture in 1989, List admitted to murdering his family but denied any involvement in the Cooper hijacking. Although his name continues to crop up in Cooper articles and documentaries, no substantial evidence implicates him, and the FBI no longer considers him a suspect. He died in
Yeah.
prison in 2008.
This dude's
So
not a suspect.
kind of a weaker one, yeah.
This guy's not a suspect. This guy's a freaking killer.
Right.
He's a savage.
Ted Mayfield. Theodore E. Mayfield was a Special Forces veteran, pilot, competitive skydiver, and skydiving instructor who served time in 1994 for a neglect homicide after 2 of his students died when their parachutes failed to open.
Oh, yes. I remember this guy. Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah. Because they suspected this guy because he does not know how to spot a bad parachute. And they say because D.B. Cooper took the spare, bad one as a spare.
He gave his 2 students the one with the X's on them.
Yeah. I think I pick all the X's on them. Just say, here you go. These are exceptional.
Right. Later, he was found indirectly responsible for 13 additional skydiving deaths due to the
This dude's a fucking serial killer.
Fucking
Never mind.
A, dude.
Never mind. I didn't even know about these 13.
He's the most indirect serial killer ever.
He is the most. He's a bitch serial killer.
He's like, I heard they died.
He's
I
like-
think they died. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I definitely didn't give him a good parachute.
I definitely
That's
gave
all
him
I
empty
know.
book bags.
Jesus.
Oh man, this guy was brutal.
His criminal record also included armed robbery and transportation of stolen aircraft. In 2010, he was sentenced to 3 years probation for piloting a plane 26 years after losing his pilot's license and rigging certificates. He was suggested repeatedly as a suspect early in the investigation, according to FBI agent Ralph Himselbeck, who knew Mayfield from a prior dispute at a local airport. He was ruled out based partly on the fact that he called Himselbeck less than 2 hours after Flight 305 landed in Reno to volunteer advice on standard skydiving practices and possible landing zones. So unless DB jumped out the plane and within 2 hours was able to call this investigator, this FBI agent, Ralph Himselbeck,
Yeah.
that's pretty. That's
Why
kind of
would he do that though? Why would this guy do
just
that?
to rule himself out, I guess.
But this guy is like a criminal. I feel like he would.
He
Just wanna stay
probably
away
knew
from the
that they would
police.
assume that they would come after him when he heard the news,
Yeah.
and so he's trying to rule
So he's
himself
like, oh,
out.
I better get this over
There's
with.
no way that the
Yeah.
real DB Cooper or Dan Cooper jumped out of that plane and within 2 hours was calling an FBI agent.
Yeah,
That's a stretch.
you're right.
It took more than 2 hours if he did survive to get out of there. So it's not this guy.
Right.
We talked about Richard McCoy. One of the biggest ones going right now. It's like DB Cooper's case solved after all these years. Robert Rackstraw was a retired pilot and ex-convict who served on an Army helicopter crew and other units during the Vietnam War. He came to the attention of the Cooper Task Force in February 1978 after he was arrested in Iran and deported to the U.S. to face explosive possession charges. Several months later, while released on bail, Rackstraw attempted to fake his own death by radioing a false Mayday call and telling controllers that he was bailing out of a rented plane over Monterey Bay. Police later arrested him in Fullerton on additional charge of forging federal pilot certificates. The plane he claimed to have ditched was found repainted in a nearby hangar. Cooper investigators noted the physical resemblance to composite sketches, military parachute training, and criminal record, but eliminated him as a suspect in 1979 after no direct evidence of his involvement could be found.
Also,
I feel
he
like what
also,
direct
he
evidence
was
could you have, though?
28. He was 28 in 71.
Well, we talked about the 70s. You could easily
Not
be
that
mistaken.
bad.
Drinking a lot of whiskey and smoking cigarettes.
That's
Yeah,
that's how
but
old
I guess-
I am. Don't hurt my feelings. There's no way.
But I mean, I guess their idea of what a 40-year-old would look like then would look like a 60-year-old now. So really, they're working on the scale they're in. So
I don't think so. Not for the time, though. You see what I'm saying? Like a
Right.
28-year-old would look like a 28-year-old to them at that
That's
time
what I'm saying.
in 71.
okay, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They would have accounted for the aging that we
This
are
feels like one where they're trying to fit.
supposedly saying there was.
They're trying to find the results. They already want it to be Rackstraw, and that's where this code comes in
Dude,
later.
I
that we'll
know. I
talk
saw the
about.
documentary with the old Army vet that's like decoding shit.
The number. It's like
no. He's like, this number, he definitely wanted you to write this here.
what's
and
that
then
movie
number
with Jim
13.
Carrey where everything
23.
comes back to 23?
23.
It's like that, dude.
It's
like,
exactly like that. Like
Yeah.
you're stretching it, bro. Like there's no way.
In 2016, Rackstraw reemerged as a suspect in a History Channel program and a book. On September 8th, 2016, Thomas J. Colbert, the author of the book The Last Master Outlaw, filed a lawsuit to compel the FBI to release its Cooper case file under the Freedom of Information Act. The suit alleges that the FBI suspended active investigation of the Cooper case in order to undermine the theory that Rackstraw is D.B. Cooper so as to prevent embarrassment for the Bureau's failure to develop evidence sufficient to prosecute him for the crime. One of the Flight 305 attendants reportedly did not find any similarities between photos of Rackstraw from the 1970s and her relocation of the Cooper appearance. Rackstraw's attorney called the renewed allegations the stupidest things I've ever heard. And Rackstraw himself told People.com, "It's a lot of bullshit, and they know it is." The FBI declined further comment. Rackstraw stated in 2017 phone interview that he lost his job over the 2016 investigations.
Here's the thing, Rackstraw. The thing about Rackstraw is he must like it. He must like all this attention because, like, when you see like in the documentaries, when people try to interview him, they go and see him. You know, he
does seem to get off on it.
He does, and he doesn't give no answers. Like, if you're not DB Cooper, then just say no.
Right.
If you don't like the attention, if you want him to leave, then just tell him no.
He's like Bill Belichick answering questions to the media. Is like, you'll have to ask Miami about that. He's like, you have to ask DB Cooper about that.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, just fucking stop. Just say you're not him.
Exactly. He's just, everything he says is a roundabout answer.
Yeah.
Nothing is just straightforward. Like, just tell him straightforward. Like, if you really want him to leave you the hell alone, then just tell him straightforward that you're not DB Cooper. But he likes the attention. I don't think he is DB Cooper, but I think he appreciates the attention. He's probably got nothing else going on in his life right now, and he's like, well, what the hell?
Right. Well, the biggest thing they have is the letter that was supposedly DB Cooper, written in December 1971.
Right.
This letter got taken in, and it's somewhat believed to be DB Cooper that wrote it. And this former Army decoder.
But here's the thing. It's only assumed to be DB Cooper
Yeah.
because it's signed DB Cooper, right? Mm-hmm. It's typed, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's typed up. And it starts, "Sirs, I knew from the start that I wouldn't be caught."
Wow.
And when it was decoded
Uh-huh.
by this former Army decoder guy,
Oh, yeah, I know this guy.
there was supposedly secret messages that said,
Yeah.
"I am Sergeant
Very secretive,
Robert Rackstraw."
very discreet code. It's like A is 1, B is 2 type stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can catch on. So,
Wait. A is 1, B is... I'm not seeing a theme here.
No. C is 3. Are you catching on? It's kind of random. It's easier
So
just to
D
memorize
is-
it. D is 4.
D is like 11. Oh, 4.
Yeah, A, B, C, D, E would be 5 in this system. I'm sorry.
Well, let's
but
listen-
this shit don't make no sense.
I'm sorry. We don't mean to hate on this former, veteran. This
No,
guy was an
listen,
Army coder.
Hey, he probably got paid to
It
be on
just-
that show, and good for him.
CBS News did this
Good for him.
hard-hitting stuff, and
I hope they paid him.
he's taking random numbers and turning them into what he wants. And let's hear him talk about it a little bit. This is
Let's.
from CBS News.
727. I'm thinking, I'm going to look at the military stuff. So I wrote down everything about the military that Rastrol was involved in.
Okay.
Vietnam, top secret, 371st.
Oh, yeah, look at all these papers.
11th GS, their company. Using the alphabet code where each letter gets a numerical value. A is 1, B is 2, and so on.
Yeah.
This was what was used on letter 5, which broke everything open.
In Cooper's letter number 5, Sherwood noted at the bottom,
The 7 CCs on top, added up 21.
he deciphered that to be ASA, Army Security Agency.
What?
Their intelligence branch.
No.
He'd find 371st, 11th GS.
Where our choppers flew out of in Vietnam.
And then there's letter number 6. Sherwood noted Cooper's, and please tell the lackey cops DB Cooper is not my real name.
Then he used the terminology of lackey. I said, there's something here. Said that could be his name.
And please tell the
What?
lackey cops equals 269.
He's not a psychologist.
Sherwood racked his mind for an equivalent. I'm Lieutenant Robert W. Rackstraw. Also equal.
Okay, the guy may have been a decoder, but he's not a freaking like criminal psychologist. He wouldn't be like, "Oh, lackey, there's something here."
Tell the lackey
Actor.
cops
They're just
that equals 269, which is his name. I'm Lieutenant Rackstraw. Come on. Dude, you're stretching so far. It's just...
When you had to bring out pre-calculus just to figure this shit out, like you're stretching it too far.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to wonder that with like the Zodiac letters at a certain point too, where
But
it's
why
just
not
like
be on
he's just
TV?
writing nonsense and then they're just wasting all their time trying
Right.
to
What
solve
if
this shit.
he's just like, I don't know, circle, line through it, star. I don't give a fuck. Just letting his daughter come over there and just write some shit on there. She's like 5. She's
Right,
like,
wipes his
whatever.
ass on the paper. Trying to figure this out, assholes.
He's got a pre-printed address label for the police department. Slap it on there, throw it in the mailbox.
Eh. Yeah. It's just exhausting with all these different suspects.
So it's Barbara Dayton then.
That's what I'm rolling with.
Yeah. That's but even if it is, true crime guys still say let it be though. Right?
Let it be.
Let her be.
Yeah.
Let her be. Good for her.
I'm
if
fucking
that's who
exhausted.
did it. Me too, guys. We worked today. And we don't usually record after we work, but it's been pretty fun actually.
Yeah, it has.
It's been a good time.
We had some bursts.
Right, pre-Thanksgiving party.
We hope you guys were able to follow along and had some fun with us. And we promise episodes like this won't occur very often.
No, we'll have our shit together most days.
Right.
Most days.
If
mostly.
this is your first episode listening, God help you.
No, this is we would listen to a part 2 as your first episode.
Yeah, that's the one good thing is like at least you hopefully listen to part 1 where you had our shit together somewhat.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, it's still not good, but at least we were somewhat sober.
Right.
Right.
This episode went off the
Not
rails
as
much
faded.
like the investigation into DB Cooper with all these crazy suspects.
That's true. It's all relevant.
yeah.
That's right.
All right.
All right, you want to get a quick sponsor in real quick?
Yes. Oh my Gaia.
Oh My Gaia. Oh My Gaia is an innovative and all-natural deodorant, fragrance, and beard oil company specializing in paraben and aluminum-free products. Their innovative line of deodorants inhibit the growth of odor-causing bacteria while maintaining effectiveness. At Oh My Gaia, they use only all-natural paraben and aluminum-free organic ingredients. Guys, there's a ton of scents. We have our very own scent called True Crime Pine. And we have a ton of other favorites as well. Barbershop is great. Fireside, Honeysuckle, Lumberjack, Leather, Dreamsicle, Coconut. There's a ton. You guys can find them at ohmygaia.com, ohmygaia.com. And we have a code for 15% off. It's Creeper, Creeper. Creeper. So stop putting aluminum in your armpits. right?
Alumina?
Aluminum.
Is that some kind of new tech shit?
Aluminium, right? Aluminium in your armpits. Don't put it in there.
All right.
Don't.
And if you want to smell good.
Yeah. But
Well-
if you don't want to smell good, there's unscented too. But I don't know why you want to do it. I mean,
Maybe you just naturally smell amazing,
oh, maybe. You got a
and
good
you wouldn't want to
natural
ruin
musk.
that your chi.
That's true. To me, it's like,
You don't want to ruin your natural aura. You're putting out those pheromones, and unscented is best for those that have strong pheromones coming off of them.
you think so? I typically like some guys at work that have strong pheromones. I'm not a fan of them.
You'd prefer they wore Oh My Gaia scented
I would, yeah, something. Maybe some
Yes.
True Crime Pine at least.
TCP on there, or a little
Yeah.
bit of sweet pea would be
Yeah.
nice.
Or some Lumberjack even.
Lumberjack
Some of
even.
these fellas, yeah.
Right.
I think they could really benefit.
I agree.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. I know exactly the employee you're talking about.
That's
so
fun.
let's talk let's do some shout outs for
Yes.
people who have written reviews.
Let's.
And let's do Stitcher reviews too.
Yes, we have not
iTunes,
visited Stitcher in a
Stitcher.
while. Yeah.
You want to go first with iTunes and I'll hit the Stitcher
I
people?
think we just got one new iTunes review since we just recorded the part one, or one new written one, and it's by Cameron McLaughlin. So thank you for that
Thank you,
5-star
Cameron.
review, Cameron. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the talking us up on Twitter too. We really appreciate that,
Hell
guys.
yeah.
It helps a lot.
Stitcher reviewers, finally getting around to y'all. Austin C, MLEs, The Duve, Lulu, Amanda Pat, Wingman 11, Natasha Fitz. Thank y'all for listening to us on Stitcher and giving
Yeah,
us 5-star
absolutely.
reviews. We're all 5 stars on Stitcher, so the people on Stitcher are digging us.
Stitcher with the 5-star love.
What's up with y'all?
I mean, it's a lot. Why do not a lot of people use Stitcher? I feel like it's.
I feel like the sound
thought it was
quality's not
more
as
popular.
good. The sound
Really?
quality's not as good on Stitcher, but
Okay.
use whatever you got, whatever. I mean, I'm sure we still sound fine on there. You still know what's going on.
Yeah, but you should open up your mind and listen to it on iTunes or something. It could be crazy.
Tune in. There's all kinds of other apps. Even if you have an Android, and you don't have an iTunes
Yeah.
podcast app. There's lots of other ones like Podcast Addict. And
Yeah,
all kinds of
Podcast
stuff.
Addict, or you could use the Podbean app.
Yep.
That one's good too, because that's what we actually use to broadcast through.
Yeah. And if you are a patron, patreon.com/truecrimeguys, you get an email when you sign up, and you should have the ability to copy and paste a link into your podcast app, whatever it is.
That works on Stitcher too, right?
It works on whatever podcast app you're using.
Okay.
You should be able to subscribe to our private feed in whether it's iTunes podcast app or whatever. Some people try to listen on the actual
Right.
Patreon app. Patreon
Yeah.
has an app. It does not going to work.
It
very
doesn't
well.
work that good. It's off and on. Sometimes it works because I listen on the Patreon app,
Yeah.
and sometimes it works good and sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
But I tell you what, guys, like if you go on True Crime Guys closed group on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you somebody has already encountered your problem,
Mm-hmm.
because we've had people, a lot of times when people are having problems with Patreon, they'll post on there and somebody uses the exact same app and they can walk you through it step by step. We don't use all the different streaming services, or we would just help you guys ourselves, but Somebody's encountered the problem already.
We got our people on it.
That's right. That's
We
right.
got our Facebook
Oh, Chris
closed
Sharp,
group.
he got promoted.
Yeah, dude.
Chris Sharp got promoted. Congratulations, Chris.
There, you talk to
Michelle K, Chris Sharp.
that's our HR department.
That's right. That's our
They'll
HR.
figure out your problem.
Our public relations.
There you go. That's even better.
Right.
Because HR is no fun. These people are fun.
They're good.
Figure out your
We're thinking
problems.
about just handing over our social media to them so we can just. We suck at social media.
Yeah.
No, but
I
we'll
feel
let
like
you
you're
guys
pretty
know
good.
when the new
I'm
episodes.
terrible at it. You're pretty good.
No, I like to let you guys know when the new episodes are and if something interesting happens. But yeah, I don't live on social media.
Yeah.
So, but love you guys. Thank you for spreading the word on
Happy
social
holidays. We hope you guys
media.
enjoy.
Happy
What's
holidays.
your
Happy Thanksgiving.
What's your favorite side dish from Thanksgiving, or just your favorite part of Thanksgiving? Is it the family getting together? Is there a certain dish you love? What's your favorite pie?
Back home, it was more of like everybody getting together because we play like football and shit.
Oh, dude,
and
turkey
cornhole
bowl.
and
You guys do a
stuff.
turkey bowl? Where you
Nah, we
play
just
an
get out
actual
there and
football game?
play till everybody gets tired, starts
love
getting
that
like
shit.
cramps and stuff.
Did you already eat when you play?
Yeah, exactly.
man,
So
that doesn't
everybody's
take long,
everybody's shitty. Well, we usually play a little bit. Everybody's like playing beforehand, and
get
then
all
we
hungry?
Yeah, and then we go eat, and
Yeah.
then everybody's like, "Oh, you ready to go play that game now?" And then we're just all sluggish, you know.
The fourth quarter's looking pretty rough.
Yeah. But here, I kind of like it here too, though. Like a lot of my wife's family comes in, and some of our friends around, and it's good too. It's a different
Different
vibe.
vibe,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's more of conversation, you know, more of that sort of thing. But as far as food, I'm looking forward to pumpkin pie and banana
That's
pudding.
my shit, right? Pumpkin pie.
Banana pudding.
You know, I love cheesecake, and I
Yeah.
love pumpkin pie. Don't combine them. Pumpkin cheesecake, fuck off.
Really?
And
I
we
could
wanted
eat
to have the argument because we had pizza before the podcast.
Yeah. But it turns out.
We're both pineapple pizza people.
Oh yes.
And,
yes.
you know, we know it's a divisive subject.
I'm sure we probably lost half of you.
And if
We
you don't
probably
like
did.
pineapple on your pizza, go find a new podcast.
That's right.
That's what
Go
I'm going to say
find a
right
new
now.
podcast. Fuck off with your no pineapple eating ass.
Pineapple and pizza go hand in hand. You got the saltiness.
They taste delicious. You can call it Hawaiian style. Everybody
Sweetness.
wins.
Yeah, it's just, man.
think
they
it's great.
It's a beautiful thing.
It
It's
is.
Peanut butter and jelly. Pineapple and pizza. They just
But it is
meant to be
such a decisive. It's such a
Divisive.
controversial. Yeah, divisive.
very controversial
argument.
subject. It's like politics.
Oh
It's
man,
Like,
sheesh, it's red and blue, man.
it's like the
red
Donald
and
Trump
blue.
of pizza toppings.
Yeah,
It's like, you love them or hate them.
we're not saying we like Donald Trump because we like
Make
pineapple.
pineapple
We're just
pizza
saying-
great again.
People are like, it was never great.
Right?
It doesn't belong together. Belongs in a fruit cup at most.
There was a wall between my pineapple pizza and myself.
You guys are trying to build a wall to keep the pineapple out.
Right?
The pineapple can go where it wants.
I'm cool with pineapple on my pizza.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, pumpkin pie
Yeah,
is
pumpkin
great.
pie's the shit.
Cheesecake is great. Don't like the two together. I like the texture of pumpkin pie, and when you make it all like the cheesecake texture, it's too dense then.
Okay, you know what? I think you would go for would be. I had this once, a pumpkin pie, and then right before the crust, it was a thin layer of cheesecake.
No, I'll just have a piece of cheesecake and a piece of pumpkin pie separately.
But why?
Because
Okay, yeah, I guess so. But I still would, if it has a thin layer, because you still get the pumpkin texture where pumpkin is, and then you get cheesecake texture where cheesecake is, and then you get crust. It's perfect. Put a little whipped cream on that bitch. It's over.
yeah, I guess. I feel like I only eat turkey like once a year on Thanksgiving.
Dude, turkey sucks, bro.
It is kind of. It's like no matter what you do, it's kind of always dry.
it's the
Sometimes it's very hard to keep it juicy.
Dude, everybody's doing, not the way I cook it, bro.
Right,
Not the way I cook it.
bro. My
Not
turkey's fucking
mine.
juicy, bro.
Not mine. It's cook that shit in apple juice. That's what I've heard is what you should do.
You
Cook
gotta
it in apple
brine that
juice.
shit, bro. You gotta brine
You
it.
could brine it. Smoke it, man.
Well, that's what gravy's for.
Yeah,
Gravy,
I'm
you
smoking
just
a lot of
fucking
stuff on Thanksgiving, but it ain't turkey. You know, you
just
feel me?
Soak that shit in gravy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Also, if you don't like gravy, find a new podcast.
If you don't, that's true. That's true. I stand by that one. I stand by that one
You
for
need a
sure.
logo, True Crime Guys
Yeah.
logo with gravy poured over the top of the logo.
Oh, dude, we should. Just like have True Crime Guys spelled out in biscuits. Oh.
All right, this is out of control.
All right, guys. This was part 2. This was.
We hope you guys
enjoyed this.
enjoyed the Thanksgiving Eve drinking
Right.
podcast. True Crime Guys, DB Cooper unsolved episode. Let DB be.
Right, let
These
DB be, peeps.
fucking suspects are all a joke. Come on, guys. Get on
But if we
board.
had to pick one,
The
it's Barbara
legend will
Dayton.
never die. We can't find who this is. It ruins it.
Right, it
I agree.
does.
Someone tweeted us and like, I don't want to know because it just ruins it.
You don't want to know. Nope.
Yeah, it's fun not knowing.
Nope. It's fun. Pick your person.
Because
and
then
there
you
you go at most.
Because you know what? We're gonna find out who it is, and then it's just he's just not gonna be as cool as we thought.
Yeah,
You know, he's gonna be
Right.
fucking lame. He's gonna
it is. It's gonna be some person who's not even on the list.
Yeah, and he's gonna be lame. He's
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Yo, it was
Some
super cool being DB." And it's like, no, you're not supposed to like
More retired
revel
guy
in the
and
fact
like
that you're DB. You're supposed to like, yeah, that's just
Tampa
one.
Bay.
I hope the real DB was like, yeah, that's just something I did that one weekend, bro. Like I do cooler shit all the time.
Yeah, it's like the most interesting man in the world.
Yeah, but the real
Don't
DB is
always
gonna be
rob
some
planes.
braggart. He's gonna be like, yeah, I'm fucking DB Cooper.
Yeah,
Coolest shit I ever did.
right. But I mean, at this point, nobody would believe him anyway. You might as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So there you go. I think we're good. I think we're good with DB. I don't think it's ever going to be solved. I don't think anybody has any drive to really solve it. Let's say somebody came up with
The
some
sleuthers?
crazy clear evidence. Okay, let's say the sleuthers do. Okay,
It's kind of like UFOs
But-
at this
but
point. Like I
who-
saw a UFO, you're like, you just saw some shit, bro.
Exactly.
Like, the fucking government's
Who-
always flying shit
who
around.
in the legal system though is going to be like, yeah, I want to pick this up and waste my fucking time on this?
Yeah, right.
Nobody.
That's why the FBI already retired. They're just
The
like, we're
furthest,
just
the far
retired
as
of
it gets is the sleuthers. That's why they don't care anymore.
Yeah. And the listeners don't care anymore. So let's just end this.
All right, let's do it.
All right, guys.
What we got? Patreon next week.
Do we?
Yeah.
Is that next week?
Patreon next week, and then a week off.
All right. You know what we're doing?
Also, no, I don't know what we're doing, but we need to for Christmas, we're gonna put up a list of 5 Patreon episodes, right?
Our favorite 5.
Our 5 Patreon episodes
It's
and
gonna be like Oprah.
freeloaders.
It's gonna be like Oprah. My 5 favorite things, and we're gonna give one of them away, not all 5.
Not all 5 of them. We're gonna let the freeloaders
favorite
vote
episode.
on which Patreon episode they want. So, Patreon people, don't freak out. We did this last Christmas too, so this is gonna be a thing.
It's the year of giving. It's the time of giving.
It's a time of giving. We're gonna give one away. So we're gonna post our favorite 5 on probably Instagram, just on Instagram probably.
Yeah,
Right, Instagram is a good one for voting. Or no, we should do it on Twitter because Twitter actually has the poll.
it does have a poll.
All right, so we'll do it on.
So go follow us on Twitter at True Crime Guys. If you
Yeah,
don't have a
at
Twitter
True
yet,
Crime
create
Guys on
one
Twitter.
just to follow us
Yeah,
and vote on this.
and we're
My favorite, hands down, is Jonestown. So that's my front runner for Christmas.
way to go. Now you're giving people
Drink the flavor aid,
preconceived.
get in on the party,
Get it.
join our cult, and we'll all die together.
and
It'll be
we'll all
great.
die together. That way,
Merry
everyone
Christmas, motherfuckers.
avoids their biggest fear: dying alone.
Right. Yeah, that is a good point. Everyone says they're afraid to die alone.
Yep.
You could die with like 979 other people
That's right. Wait, where are you getting this number from?
in Jonestown and Guyana.
Oh, Jonestown. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think it was about 980 people, wasn't it?
Yeah. Or we can do like our creeper party where we're almost at 700.
Yeah.
Almost at 700
creepers.
people.
That's a party.
700 creepers is a big suicide party.
Once we get to 980, we got to just implode the fucking
Yeah, sure.
Patreon page.
Yeah,
Just put a picture of Kool-Aid and then the fucking thing drops off.
it's just over. We're done. Podcast
Skull and
is over.
crossbones. These are dark jokes. Those, honestly,
Yeah,
I feel
let's
like
wrap this up.
I feel like he mainly murdered those people.
Yeah, you did. It's not funny anymore. Lawrence.
It's really not.
Yeah, too soon.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap this up, peeps. We'll see you next week if you're a patron. If not, we'll see you in 2-3 weeks.
Later, guys. Happy holidays.
Yep.
We'll see you soon.
Keep creeping.
True crime guys, in the desert we like a mirage. It's okay if you clicked on us cause you thought we was True Crime Garage. Now we ain't mad at you, sit down, let us talk at you. I'm talking to the creeper army, we out here making murder, get murder, get murder. True crime guys, in the desert we like a mirage. It's okay if you clicked on us cause you thought we was True Crime Garage. Now we ain't mad at you, sit down, let us talk at you. I'm talking to the creeper army, we out here making murder charming.